What if I told you we were going to take a trip and we can go anywhere you wanted to go? The only catch is we can't use any GPS or any tool or map to help us to get there. What do you think about that? Is the idea still appealing to you? I think most of us say probably not. That's probably not a good idea. Now, why is that? I think most of us would say that we would want to know exactly how we're going to get to our specific destination. Mainly because we want to ensure that we're going to get there as quickly as possible, but obviously also safely. That makes sense, right? But what if I told you that's what most people do when they go inside the gym every day? They go in without any GPS, and they may know where they want to go, but they don't truly know where their starting point is. So would you agree it's a little hard to get to a destination if you don't truly know where your starting point is? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Chris Hughes. I've been in fitness professional for over 20 years. It's still very hard for me to believe. I taught the National Academy of Sports Medicine's curriculum for quite some time. Extremely rewarding job. I basically taught people how to become fitness professionals. The total program was about 10 months, but they were only with me for 6. At the end of the 6th month, they could be certified in 5 different modalities. But when I taught, everything revolved around corrective exercise. Some of my students right there, I miss them very much. So you might be asking, just what is corrective exercise? And what does that have to do with what we're talking about in the very beginning of this presentation? I'm actually very glad you're wondering that. In a sense, that's what this entire video is all about. Now let me explain. All right, now everybody has dysfunction. You could be the most conditioned athlete in the world, or you could be a straight up couch potato. Every person walking around has dysfunction in their body. It doesn't matter who you are. So love him or hate him, all right, Floyd Mayweather was one of the most conditioned athletes in the world, especially when he was actively fighting. But even Floyd Mayweather has dysfunction, meaning he has some sort of structural deviation that needs to be corrected in his body. Okay? Now, some of you might be questioning that. You may be saying, look, the man is shredded. He was able to fight for so long. How could he possibly have anything structurally wrong with him? All right, I'm going to give you a quick example. So what I'm about to show you, this is a hack I used to teach my students when assessing posture. Okay, now look at Floyd's elbows, how they flare out a little bit, and look at where his thumbs are pointing. Okay, are they pointing straight ahead? Are they bladed, like in the military, or are they pointing towards the inside of your body? All right, so clearly they were pointing towards the inside of his body. So this means that his pec minor, part of your chest, and pec major are tight. Being that your muscles don't live in a vacuum, there's other areas that are tight. But unfortunately, that also means that in his case, his weaknesses are in his back, mainly his mid to lower traps, rhomboids, and things of that nature. Now, let's say that you have dysfunction, and if I'm going to be honest with you guys, most of you probably do because of lifestyle and behavior. So how do you know you're not doing any exercises to make that worse? How do you know the exact protocol to correct that dysfunction? Keep in mind, Floyd, he's one of the best athletes in the world, and he has access to some of the best trainers and medical people in the world, yet he has dysfunction. So are you beginning to see how you too could have dysfunction also and not even know it? Does that make sense? Now, just so we're clear, I'm not talking symmetry. All right. Now, Flex Wheeler's symmetry was amazing. Look at this guy. Now, some will say, obviously, okay, this is a little much. But symmetry-wise, his physique is pretty much flawless. Okay? But look how big his legs are. Will his legs be able to walk normally, or will they have to flare out to the side slightly while he's walking? So, if it's left uncorrected, it could lead to knee problems, ankle issues, hip problems, even potential back pain, if left unchecked. So listen, I get it. Over the years, I've recognized that people don't know what they don't know. If you don't have any pain, they assume their body is not only perfectly fine, but they're probably perfectly healthy. I know many of you have pains and has just chalked it up to getting old. But the truth is, the vast majority of you are having pains and discomfort because of dysfunction and time, not age like most people think. Because of our lifestyle and certain movement patterns that start to occur, some of those movement patterns lead to dysfunction. Over time and left unchecked, it gets worse and worse. Ultimately, it can lead to wear down or pulling on your connective tissue. It can either start to pull on the connective tissue, which causes pain, or could snap. But either way, age usually doesn't have anything to do with the pain. It's normally dysfunction, like I said before, going unchecked. But here lies a huge problem. Many of us you try to do better and be better. And you start being productive. So you follow an influencer or some fitness professional that you deem to be knowledgeable and trustworthy, and you follow exactly what they tell you. They'll give you a structured workout plan with different exercises to do on different days, whether you pay for it or not. Some of the services they provide, and they're doing their best to make sure you sweat and drop some weight, assuming you want to get lean. They'll practically guarantee if you follow their plan, you'll get the results that you both want and need. But do you remember the example I gave in the beginning of this presentation? Would you want to follow someone's lead to get you to the promised land if they don't know exactly where you're starting from? But most of us do this every single day. When you enter inside the gym and you haven't had a proper assessment. Let me give you an example as far as what I mean. So when speaking of dysfunction, how it can specifically affect you in the gym as well as your life, the rest of your life if you get injured. So, okay, check out this illustration. This picture on the left has a normal arch in the spine. All right, it can support the weight or load when you're doing a squat safely. Okay. Now the picture on the right has something called a posterior pelvic tilt. Notice how the spine is rounded towards the bottom. Okay, do you guys see that? So, if your back is rounded because of a posterior pelvic tilt and you have a load, okay, you have something on your back, you have a load that needs to be supported from something like a barbell, you're asking for an issue. Now, could you see how that could be a big problem? The thing is, most people don't even know that they have any kind of structural deviation like a posterior pelvic tilt or anything else for that matter, because it's not like you feel it when you're doing the exercise, at least generally speaking. So when the discs herniate, because it's not in a proper position to where it can support the back, people just chalk it up to, oh, I'm just getting old. But the truth of the matter is, it could have just been prevented all along. So that's just one potential problem out of many. But people are totally unaware that they could be dealing with any number of dysfunctions, unfortunately. So how about you're following influencers? How about you're following influencers? How about you're following an influencer's plan to give you a firmer and lifted booty? You're following the plan exactly how they have it laid out. You may have even seen a little bit of benefit as well as results. But you also may be noticing that your knees may be hurting. Perhaps your sciatica is starting to flare up and you can't figure out why. Perhaps your knees are hurting and your ankle instability, and you have ankle instability, so that needs to be corrected. Perhaps your sciatica is flaring up because your glutes aren't firing the way they should, and the majority of the stress is going on your piriformis. Or maybe you're just having pain in your back just because your hips aren't aligned and stable during your movements. I mean, the thing of it is, this is very basic information about one's body that everybody needs to know about themselves. When you're inside the gym, you need to know this stuff. But as you guessed it, most people don't. And chances are, if you're reading this, you don't know what dysfunctions you have in your body either. To top it off, which I find to be pretty much a disgrace, most fitness professionals don't have the knowledge or skills to give you the information that you need to be safe. Yet we give them our hard-earned money and assume they assume that what they are prescribing for us will give the results we need and will keep us safe along the way. So question, how can these fitness quote-unquote professionals keep you safe from a potential injury when they don't even know the potential for injury exists? We should all ponder that one for a while. Now, some of you could be asking, okay, Chris, why do you even care? And in full transparency, I want to get this message out for two reasons. One is obviously I'm good at what I do, and there's a monetary factor attached to it. But the other is a little selfish. It's very selfish, actually. The reason is it's therapeutic for me. If I didn't have this, I don't think I would have survived several years ago. Now, let me explain. This picture was taken back in 2015. These are my kids, Xavier, Jasmine, and the two little ones, Candace Lily and little Alex. So I call Candace CL and I call Alex Slater. They both were diagnosed with pretty severe heart conditions. I don't want to get too much into it because it's a fairly long story, and I really don't want to get emotional when talking about this. But CL passed away back in January 23rd, 2016. And Slater passed away June 16th, 2016. She was 2.5 and he was 1.5. So as you might imagine, I was beyond devastated. And truth be told, I wanted to die. But once I was halfway able to catch my breath, there was only one real thing that consistently helped me to feel better. You see, I got very sensitive to other people's pain, both emotionally and physically. So if I knew someone was struggling, I couldn't just do nothing. I had to do something. Especially because of some of the life lessons my kids taught me in that short amount of time that they were here. And even though they were very young when they left this plane of existence, they were by far my best teachers. I mean, it's not even close. It wasn't until I truly started to serve others that I started to heal for myself. So I tried to help as many people as I can, one person at a time. I don't want anybody to be in pain, so especially if I know it could be easily avoided, and it usually can be if it's physically. So getting people out of pain is very enjoyable for me, but I also love pointing things out that will keep people out of pain and discomfort before it even starts. So the question is, are you going to continue to put yourself at risk in the gym? Are you going to hope that this workout plan that you're doing right now isn't going to injure you, whether it be now or in the future? Do you want to start to get in shape, but not exactly sure where to begin? Guys, the answer is clear. Let us help you. Not only get you to your goals quickly, but give you everything that you need so you can work out safely, feel better than you have in years. To the people that already have fitness professionals and already have a bond with them, just so you know, I totally respect that. I would never ask for you to drop them and come with us full time. What many people have done who already have people they're working with is they get an assessment from us. Then they take it back to their fitness professional so they can come up with the game plan so that they can interject our findings into the workout plan they already have. So no matter what your circumstances is, we can help. So again, the answer is clear, guys. Go ahead and click the button and join our Power of Precision family. Why put your body and potentially your health at risk if you don't have to? Let us take care of you the way you deserve to be. So let me explain very quickly what you get when you join the Power of Precision family. First, we give you your assessment by checking certain movement patterns, and based upon what we see, we use other movement patterns to confirm or rule out certain dysfunctions. Once either myself or a person on my team gives you your assessment, our findings will be sent to your account on our software. So there you have a record of what we find in a way of us to track it as we move forward. We then will give you a specialized workout plan that is specifically designed for you and any other dysfunctions or problems that we have found during our assessment. So to be clear, this isn't going to be any kind of cookie cutter program that you're going to find from all these other influencers and other fitness professionals. This program is going to be made solely for you and your needs. We'll give you a diet template that you can adjust to your needs regardless if you want to put on muscle or drop body fat. Throughout our entire experience with our family, you'll always know what to do with your workouts because you'll have every single day mapped out for you with videos to give you examples for the particular movement for our specific exercise. And of course, you'll always have access to myself or my team at any given time. You get all of this for a tiny price of $75 a week, guys. You can't beat that. So as we continue on our journey together, we will reassess you every month to check your progression. Besides you just giving us verbal feedback, reassessing you every month is how we know for sure what program you should be specifically doing at that particular moment. So just think how good it's going to feel knowing you're doing a program designed just for you. It can help take care of any dysfunction you might have, including you getting out of pain or keeping you from injury. Would that be valuable to you? I think we've concluded by now that you're not going to get this information anywhere else. So guys, why are you waiting any longer? So that's it. Just click the button and let's start our fitness journey together the right way. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us in this presentation. Listen, we love you. And thanks again. Hopefully, I'm going to see you on the other side. By the way, my two youngest that I have right now, wanted to say thanks for watching. Thanks, guys. Take care.